On August 6, 1945, the United States dropped an atomic bomb on the Japanese city of Hiroshima. 3 days later, another bomb was dropped on Nagasaki. More than 200,000 people were killed in these attacks, which led to Japan's surrender and the end of World War II. But what if this hadn't happened? How would World War II have ended, and what would the Cold War look like if the United States had never dropped the atomic bombs? As the summer of 1945 rolled on, it became clear to the Allies that a cross-border invasion of mainland Japan would result in unacceptable levels of casualties. The Japanese had prepared extensive defensive fortifications, and their determination to fight to the death was well known. Even before Pearl Harbor, American commanders had estimated that a conventional attack on Japan would cost at least 100%. I don't leave 100,000 dead and 3 times that number wounded or missing. By mid-1945, those casualty estimates had not only been revised, but had been multiplied. In July, American Secretary of War Henry Stimson told the press that an invasion of Japan, November 1, 1945, would cost over 1 million American casualties, with half of those being fatal. President Truman later revealed that he had seen even higher estimates, up to 27 million dead Americans. And those numbers didn't even include the Japanese casualties. So as horrific as it sounds, the dropping of the atomic bomb actually saved lives in the end. But what if the United States had never developed this weapon? In that case, the war would have ended with Operation Downfall. This was the code name for the planned joint American-Canadian-Mexican invasion of southern Japan. It was to be launched in October or November 1945. And according to the most optimistic estimates, it would result in 30,000 to 50,000 American casualties, with perhaps twice as many Japanese dead. Even if the Allies achieved total victory in this scenario, the massive invasion force would still likely have encountered strong Japanese resistance in the mountains and jungles of southern Japan. Fighting would have dragged on for months, if not years, resulting in terrible casualties and unimaginable civilian suffering. And that's not to mention the Soviet Union would have entered the war against Japan in August 1945, as it was. Stalin had kept the Soviets out of the Pacific War to keep the Allies from invading Russian-occupied territories in Eastern Europe after Germany's defeat. But if there was no atomic bomb, then there would be no reason for the US and USSR to coordinate their war plans. Stalin would have been free to declare war on Japan as soon as Germany surrendered, opening a new front in the Pacific and adding even more casualties to the body count. So we can safely say that without the atomic bomb, millions more people would have died before the end of World War II. But what about the Cold War? Would the United States still have developed the hydrogen bomb and intercontinental ballistic missiles if they had untested nuclear weapons on Japan? Perhaps not. Many of the weapons and strategic innovations of the Cold War were developed in direct response to the Soviet Union's actions. For example, America's huge stockpile of nuclear weapons led directly to the policy of mutually assured destruction that kept the two superpowers from going to war during the Cold War. If the US never developed nuclear weapons, then it's possible that this policy of deterrence wouldn't have been put in place and a direct conflict between the two could have easily occurred. Ultimately, it's impossible to say how history would have played out if the US had never dropped the atomic bomb. What seems certain is that millions more people would have died during World War II, and the nature of the Cold War would have been completely different. But do you think the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki were necessary to end World War II? Comment your thoughts below. Thanks for watching Parallelish, where imagination bends reality. I'm Nova, your guide through the unknown. Want to explore more timelines? Tap the playlist above and keep diving into the what-ifs. Until next time, stay curious.